A lot of folks, including myself, are no longer happy with Hollywood. We're not happy with the Oscars and all these things that they do to celebrate themselves, and primarily because they have become so political and they're so one-sided. And for myself, and I know others who don't want to hear about their politics. We want to be entertained, and they can do whatever they want in private with their politics. I have with me Jackie Mason, and Jackie is an actor, writer, and comedian known for movies like The Jerk, Caddyshack, #2, and History of the World, Part 1. He's done a weekly video clip on Breitbart.com for Big Hollywood since January 2017. And I wanted to talk to Jackie Mason. It's an honor to have him on about Hollywood, what's gone wrong and why. Jackie, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. It's my pleasure because I know without me you can't make a living. So I like to help you out. You got nobody else to talk to. That's how I got the job with you. I could see.
Well, I appreciate the help. Thank you. They call you.
You just helped me out because you did the whole show without me. When you announced a minute ago that the Hollywood crowd is political, they're not political. They're just hateful.
Yeah.
They just can't stand Trump. It bothers them because it destroys their image of what they want from a person. They want to see somebody who agrees with them, who loves them, because they're accustomed to just get everybody following them and worshiping them. And Trump is his own star and his own celebrity, and they're so jealous and nauseous that he's such a hit that they can't tolerate it. So no matter what he says or does, even if he goes for a walk, he didn't walk right. If he sits down, they hate the way he sits down, and they think a person should get up first. If he turns around, he didn't turn around right. He must be dizzy. That's why he's turning. Yeah. He doesn't know what he's doing. That's why he's sleeping. He's not allowed to sleep. He can't go for a walk. No matter what he does, they're against it. Even if he does nothing, they don't like the way he does nothing. A person should know nothing like this. They should first announce that they're going to do nothing.
Yeah.
They're just sick people who are intolerant of anything Trump does, and the public knows it. That's why they're reading for this what do you call it, Academy Awards. You see his rating for the Academy Awards?
Yeah, it went down. It went down
20%. Last year it went down another 21%. This year they used to have 60 million people watching them. Now it's down to 20 million. I guarantee you next time it'll be 2 billion, and the year after that they'll have to look in the streets for somebody who listens to them.
That's right. So they don't care. They don't care about that. Hey, Jackie, they don't care about losing ratings. It's more important to them to hate President Trump, even at the risk of losing ratings.
Not only at the risk of losing ratings, they would rather go to his funeral. What they really hope is he drops dead on Thursday. So they shouldn't have to hear from him again.
Yeah.
They're not entertainers. They're vicious lowlifes. Not one of them ever read a paper, find out what's going on in the world. They never criticize him about anything that they know about because they know about nothing.
Yeah, that's
you
right.
You don't see them fighting for a certain issue because they don't know what the issues are. They don't know what's happening anywhere in the world. The only place they look is in the mirror.
Yeah. Also, I've noticed that
their whole life is just looking in the mirror. As soon as the mirror is not there, they get dizzy. They don't know where to go.
I also noticed over the years that they're not really good actors and actresses. They remind me of rappers. They just out there running around and not really being excellent at what they do.
Not only do they stink as actors, they stink as human beings.
Yeah.
You would never know that they ever went to school. They can't even hold a conversation. You notice on the late night shows when you see one of the actors, they mumble along like they're mentally retarded.
That's right.
They haven't got a thing to say that's worth listening to.
You're absolutely
They have
right.
opinion about nothing except about how they could get into the next picture.
Yeah.
And as soon as they do a picture, they sit in the house wasting their time. They never did anything constructive or intelligent. What purpose do you really serve on this earth?
That's right. You know, I want to ask you about this, Jackie, and I think I know that it's a very true statement I read that you made, and I want to know why did this happen. You said there is only free speech now in this country for black people and homosexuals and any other minority. But if you're a white Protestant American Gentile, you can't say a word. That's so true, especially on colleges, campuses, and social media. Why did white men and women, but especially white men, allow themselves to be afraid to speak up, and now they're losing the freedom of speech?
That's not only in Hollywood. White people in general.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to have a frank opinion about anything that might be involved in with a black person or with the black people.
Yeah, and why? Why did they cave into that?
Because every white person feels guilty about the black people being persecuted. The black people are not today not just persecuted; they have every advantage in every way. If you want to go to college, you need a 90% average. If they want to go to college, they got a 2% average.
Yeah.
Because white people are busy lamenting the past and being sorry for how they persecuted them or how they rejected them or how in some way neglected them. So they have to prove, look how I'm different. Look how I give them everything for nothing. If he's not working, it's my fault. If he doesn't talk Jewish, it's my fault. Everything is my fault. This is the most ridiculous story of the world.
Yes, it is.
You notice that every award show you have to have a minimum of 32 blacks. They weren't even in the picture. They're not even in show business. But you're supposed to make sure they get a certain percentage of awards.
Yeah.
As soon as a black person is not awarded, an hour later, the protest starts, and they start running around from house to house, resenting the whole award show, and they're hateful about the fact that the black person didn't win. You ever see a Jew protesting that a Jew didn't win?
Yeah, you're right.
How come I never hear a protest that Romanians didn't win?
That's right. But
that year, not one Romanian won. That year, not one Iranian won. Do you see Romanians marching in the streets?
That's right.
They didn't win one award, so the next award show, because they weren't in the last award show, you don't see white people at all.
But the point is,
Jackie, if you want to see a white person, he's in the audience. He's never on the stage, because it's an insult now to have a white person winning or even talk to a person who just won.
Yeah. And the problem is, black people, I grew up in Alabama, I grew up on a plantation, I grew up under the Jim Crow laws, and black people were better off then than they are today, in that the reason that most black people are suffering today is due to the destruction of the family and the lack of moral character. And by allowing them to get in there simply because they're black based on affirmative action and not because of talent, you're only hurting black people. You're making things worse for them, because if they don't correct themselves, they're not going to get better. They're only get worse. And I would hope that white people would start saying that and stop caving into these lies about racism.
Well, you could hope all you want, but it's not going to change so fast.
That's amazing.
It's not going to change because the white people's problems are not suddenly going to become any different than they are today. If a person is suffering from the fact that a black person doesn't become the president of the United States, all of a sudden an ignorant liar like Barack Obama.
The fallen Messiah.
The crimes he committed as a president?
Yeah.
Do you see any qualifications for him to become the president?
Not at all.
He ran against a guy who spent about 20 years as a senator, and he was considered the brightest, the best, the sharpest, the smartest senator in the history of the world. He meant nothing compared to Barack Obama.
Yeah.
As soon as Barack Obama showed up, they didn't ask whether he was ever intelligent or educated But what he meant as a senator, you know that he was a senator for 2 years and nobody ever heard of him?
Right.
The fact that they never heard of him didn't stop them from all of a sudden deciding that he should be the president. It's like you picked up a guy from the street who never worked for a living, and as long as he's black, you got the job.
And look what happened. He tried to
was
turn
black.
America into a ghetto.
What's that? What's that?
He tried to turn America into a ghetto. He's the worst. Obama is the worst president that we have ever had in this country. It was a horrible mistake.
Not only was he the worst president, but he's the biggest liar that
Yeah.
ever lived. They
Yeah.
pick on Trump when he does nothing, when he improves everything in the country by everybody getting a tax break.
Jackson.
An average family now makes $3,000 a year
Yeah.
more than they month a month ago.
Jackie
But
Mason,
the
thank
other-
you
but
so much for coming on with me. I'm out of time right here, but thank you so much. I absolutely appreciate it.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Anytime I hope you make a living, I'll be glad to show up.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.